don't know what, it was getting darker. Just eating. So what's happened here with the potato boat? So the guy Jim that was supposed to be getting the license in his name and he was going to run the boat did a disappearing act. So I don't know, with all the crazy shit that's been happening for the last 3 weeks since this boat's been down here, I can only imagine. I mean, he's a drug addict. So I mean, did they feed him drugs and disappear him? Is he the one that was on the scanner the other night that overdosed over on Pulaski? Did they intimidate the shit out of him the way they were trying to do with me, and it worked on him and he was just told to go away? Did they set him up for an arrest and they just threw him in jail for a little while? I don't know what the fuck happened, but he's gone. And it's been 7 days since I last seen him. So I'm going to just keep, and I'm looking for him openly. I've been telling everybody around, you know, if you see him, there was a note on the boat. Jim, call me if you get this note. We're all set to go on the boat and all that kind of shit, right? And he was very interested in doing this. He was very eager to helping his fellow humans who he felt helped him all the time and everything. So I don't know what the fuck happened. Then you got this dude here in this truck right here. There's him and another one that you'll see in a second. They'll come in the camera. Yeah. I don't think that old guy. Probably not him, but the other gray truck and the other one that just left a few minutes ago. They got a lot of time on their hands around here. So just to talk a little bit about the boat and what I see happening. So I'm uploading on all my channels, and I have to do it that way. I have to upload on certain channels because certain town officials have my information for my YouTube channels. They have the names of my YouTube channels. So therefore, I can only use this channel, the Michael Oziak channel, for doing just what I'm doing now. I can't use it for uploading all of the videos because then you take a chance of them. They'll do complaints with YouTube and have my channel taken down and shit like that. So I got to make sure that I'm on several different channels as I'm doing this, and do the main story right here on the Michael Oziak channel. So there's evidence that they already got wind. The day that I put the sign up and the day that I posted that video of the girl that was posting on Facebook, writing nasty shit about the boat. You know, she's writing nasty stuff about the boat. And so I wanted to know why, you know, why was she doing this? She doesn't, the boat's not even open. And I'm thinking to myself, imagine, and I was saying it to the camera, can you guys imagine if I would have been serious about the boat and it really meant a lot to me and I was going to find a partner and I really believed that you could actually make money at this fucking food truck thing right now at this time. You cannot make money at anything. It doesn't matter what you do. Anything is all done. The only ones still fooling themselves are the people that make over 400 or 500K a year, right? So they're still pretending that this is not happening. But even that 400 or 500K a year is obviously not going nearly as far as it used to be. going, right? So whenever they see me come out with the cameras, everybody will do a disappearing act. And it's funny because they're far away from each other, right? So when you see some people at one part of the parking lot, and then you'll see somebody at the other side, and you say, okay, who's this? And do they belong here? That kind of thing. And what are they doing here for this amount of time, and that kind of thing, you know? Well, they're watching for me to come in and out. In some cases, they're just watching for me to come in and out because they've only got the front being surveilled. So they want to know what time, what's happening, all that kind of shit. And so they'll sit in places where they try to look inconspicuous because people do normally sit in these places for long periods of time sometimes. So they want to look inconspicuous. Even me holding a camera right now, I wish I had my body mount because I could just put the camera on my body and then it's not as suspicious looking, right? Because that's what they'll do. They'll use that as a reasoning, that it's suspicious behavior and that kind of shit. I try not to jump around too much as I'm talking about this stuff, right? So for them guys to come down on the boat as hard as they did over that 3-week period, starting right from day one, the Saturday that I brought it down here, I mean, that is really fucking sickening. That means that if somebody really wants, and I'm going to explain a lot in this video, actually, I think I'm going to ramble on for a little bit. Yeah, I'm even going to grab my stand, I think, so I don't have to hold the fucking camera the whole time I'm talking. All right, so the surveillance on the boat has changed, is what I was starting to say earlier. So they got a wind of me posting. So even the carts have now moved away. So the food trucks are all gone now. They're not coming back, right? It's been over a week since they've been here. As a matter of fact, about the same amount of time that Jim disappeared. So I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. Are they really? Is it really this fucking bad? Is it like in the movies? You know? Are they all that fucking nuts? It could be. It could be. They're acting really weird. So right from day one, I went around the food truck arena that's in this town. And when I did, I wanted to let them all know that I'm bringing the boat down in a week or two, show them some pictures of the boat, let them know my intentions was not to hurt their business, but to assist their business, if anything. So I'm going to stay away from their whatever it is that they're cooking, right? So I'm going to stay away from their menus, that kind of thing. I'm trying to get the boat. If I can get it from over here. Yeah, I guess I can. There we go. So I did I did everything the right way as far as that goes, right? And then it turned out that on the 2 days before I brought it down, I hit up the hot dog truck cart and her husband, and he flipped his fucking lid on that day. Acted really, I mean, yelling and screaming about all kinds of shit, about things that were happening around the cart. I think I did talk about this in a few of the other videos, but they're on another channel. But anyways, he was fucking flipping. Let's do this. He was flipping out. So About dog hair, about one of the customers having dog shit in the bag, walking around the food. The steaks were all frozen and not thawed out. This guy was standing there talking to his wife about business, and he doesn't believe in talking about business when there's customers around. I didn't even realize that they were customers. I thought they were their family and stuff because they were sitting around, hanging around like they were family. So I don't fucking know. Um, I don't know. But anyway, she went off to the point where, you know, I was like, okay, fuck this. This is weird, man. This is like fucking Twilight Zone shit. There's no reason to be acting like this. This is weird. But then everybody is acting weird anyways nowadays. It's not even just this town. I used to think it was just the town of Ware. It's not. It's fucking everybody. It's everywhere you go. Everyone's fucking nuts, man. We all lost our minds. And the amount of people who are awakening, that are, it's no, not nearly enough. Not nearly enough to make any kind of change. So the people who are awakening just got to grit our teeth and watch this fucking shit go down every day. And then when we do say something about it, we got to stay very calm, because otherwise they'll make you out to be the crazy person, and then they're the good guys. That's their infamous thing, gaslighting. All of them. Everyone's trained to do that. All the Karens, all the Darrens, all the mafia, all the fucking tyrannic government shit. They're all trained to do it like that. It's fucked up. So I did that before I even brought the boat down here. I made sure that everything was cool with the people of the fellow carts. Now, the fried dough guy and the hot dog people ended up being the weirdest of them all, in my opinion. Fried dough guy wouldn't even say hello. I mean, he was fucking real weird, driving around his cart, making sure that his employees didn't talk to me and shit like that. Like, he'd pull up in his truck and say stuff to them, and I could tell it was on about me, because after that they would shy away from me right away. You know, oh, that's a nice boat, Mike. I got to get going. I got to get back to work. You know, stuff like that. I mean, there's no customers around. It's not like I was holding them from doing anything. But he would come around and make them sweep up or do something to stay away from me. So I'm like, it's fucking weird. And on top of it, I'm saying hi, hello, with a big smile on my face every time. And he just drives away, right? He just acts weird. So then that was Saturday and Sunday. I brought the boat down Saturday. Everybody loved the fucking boat. I shouldn't say everybody, but most of the people that saw it loved it. Had a lot of good responses to the boat. But both the fried dough cart and the hot dog cart especially got even more of these. People were mistakenly thinking that I didn't realize this till just the last few days. I'm putting it all together and I'm like, okay, I see how that went down. So there were hundreds of people driving around the boat. I witnessed that for myself. I got that on video of people driving around, big smiles on their face, not angry, not pissed off, not spitting on the fucking boat. That happened later on in the story, but they were genuinely like, hey, fishing clubs pulling up. Hey, that's a really great idea. My fishing club wants you to cook our fish for us and all this kind of shit. And I'm like, okay, maybe, you know, I may be interested in doing a privatization, just set it up as a private club. I'm not against that idea. All this stuff was happening during those first couple days, Saturday and Sunday. During that time, the hot dog guy was already telling me about, warning me about licensing and all kinds of shit. And I said to him, I don't even know what the license for yet, because I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I will. Give me a chance, and I'll figure out when I get a partner. And then I explained to them what it said on the sign, because obviously no one was reading it. And I said, I'm 3 to 4 weeks away from even opening. I first have to find a partner, find out what we're really going to make for a menu that's just a mock menu. It's a mock menu. Let's see if people like this idea, Golumkis and some healthy foods that are a little bit better than hot dogs, right? So, and fried dough and fucking garbage fucking food. So, but I understand that's what everybody likes. I get that. But the other thing was the cost. And I did lecture them about them not making any fucking money. I'm like, there's no way, because I already did the numbers on pen and pad, putting the numbers together, and I was saying it to everybody. I was talking to my buddy George, I was talking to other businessmen, entrepreneurs, and they're all insisting that the hot dog girl's making big fucking money over there. And I'm like, nobody is making money at any of these carts. Even if they're charging $20-25 a meal, I see the meals that they're giving for $20-25. Even his steak dinners, it's fucking ridiculous for anybody. Do any of you do grocery shopping anymore? Or do your wives only go grocery shopping? I'm saying to them, because, I mean, come on, man, you're buying a fucking $28 steak. It costs you gas or wood to cook that steak, your time to be there. Then you need cups and plates and fucking things and dishes to put it in. Then you got it, right? So there's so much cost in putting this $28 steak on a plate and selling it for $35. So you really think that the guy's making a fucking $9, $10 profit? No, because they're still not done with you, because then you got to deal with the tax man, because he's going to be there fucking first thing Monday morning, guarantee you. He'll be there and right? So therefore, all of that shit, it was nonsense. Oh yeah, well, one of my friends, he's a good friend too, and he's an entrepreneur. He's making good fucking money, but he doesn't realize that he's going down too. I'm not laughing at the fact that he's going down. I'm laughing at the fact that they laugh at me every time I say this shit. And then I have to drastically, it's not even exaggeration, I just have to drastically say it. They think it's an exaggeration, but it's not. When I have to say the world has already ended in 2010, you're all still in comatose fucking zombie state, and they don't believe it because they're so successful in this evil fucking realm that we're all calling the present life, right? So they're successful, so they feel that there's no way they're going to wrap their minds around this. At least that's the way it was when you look at the money brackets. It was that way for everybody that was 200K to 300K. That's the way it used to be all the way up until COVID. After COVID shut down all mom and pops, and then the mom and pops that were still hanging on are still fucking struggling. Everything's going over to internet purchases, internet, everything, AI, all the fucking shit that that's been thrown at us in the last few years. Unbelievable. So here we go now. Imagine if I would have opened up the boat when I was supposed to, and all these people came out and were ranking out my food for no fucking reason. They could not wait to rank out this boat. So they all went on Facebook. I mean, that's terrorist fucking organization, right? You're acting like a terrorist organization to take out a possible business that's here to help the community in favor of what you think that you're going to make off your hot dog stand and off your fried dough cart. That's tyranny. That's, lunacy. But that's the way everybody thinks it's supposed to be, along with all of their minion, because their minion are the ones that are causing a lot of fucking trouble for me. Their minion are the ones helping them on all different platforms, because you have the government aspect of all this, right? Is it the government that's listening to the minion? Because it sure seems that way. The minion are so fucking zombified that they don't even realize that they're convicting themselves. They're enslaving themselves. When you got 10 different people on a Facebook, what do they call those? Facebook pages, I guess. So on their Facebook pages, they're doing all this shit. Now, anybody that has eyes to see would ask them people and say, why are you so hard on this boat? It looks like the sign says that the dude's not even planning to open for several weeks. He's not even serving food yet. So why do you want it out of there? Because they were writing things like, tow it out of here. He don't even have a license for a business license for the selling food or some shit like this. She supposedly said. That's none of nobody's fucking business. That's no one's business until they see it. And then even when if it's a private club and it's only people that are in the club, then again, that's none of their fucking business. They probably fall above the poverty level. They're probably above the 150,000, 250,000 a year income level, right? So therefore, none of this stuff would affect them. But they're obviously working on behalf of their government. So now what they do is they go on Facebook, they complain to the government, and then they send John down. John comes running down, swats me at the boat. A lot of questions about that. Why did John not read the fucking sign before he came? Why did his minion not tell him, John, here's a picture of the sign? Hundreds of people are posting pictures of the sign because they thought it was the hot dog cart's boat. And then when they were putting stuff on the hot dog cart's page, they started deleting them because they didn't want any positive shit about the boat going on their page. So anything good was deleted. Unbelievable the way these fucking pricks work, right? So they go ahead a cigarette. So they go ahead and do that. That was their next great bright fucking move. So then John comes down to the boat, threatens me. He probably not so used to doing that to people, he doesn't even look at it as a threat. And he's most likely coming to these videos now, by the way, too, because I won't start naming everybody's names, and I won't give last names because I really don't give a fuck what anyone's last name is anyway. But I'm not starting to do all that shit and anything like that. I'm just telling my fucking story. I'm not going to go putting the camera in anybody's face unless they're harassing me or bugging me. I don't even put the camera up at anything unless I'm having problems with everybody, right? And then I'll throw the camera up. Otherwise, there would have been no reason to. So the threats of, if I catch you cooking on the boat, then we're going to have a problem. Doesn't even explain what the problem could possibly be. Then I say, well, if it's a private club and I set it up for the fishing club, then you're not going to have any say in that anyway. It's going to be a private club. And then his response was, well, you have to have proper signing and all that. And my question, someone checking out the boat. And my question to anybody would be, well, doesn't that seem kind of weird to the average slave to be hearing that? I mean, you're talking about something that's 3 weeks away from being open. The business model is just out there in the open, and it said right on the sign, open to other ideas, open to your ideas, looking for a partner, because I was not stuck on even selling just food. Then his response was, well, it sure looks like a food truck because it's got all this grill and all that. And the response to that was, well, it could be a trailer that looks like it was turned into a boat, that looks like it was turned into a food truck, that looks like it's being turned into and used as a Pokemon card boat. And we'll just sell Pokemon cards off the fucking boat. Because I did have people that were interested in that, doing that. I just don't know anything about Pokemon cards. But if the kids think they can make some fucking money on it and they want to use the boat, go ahead. What the hell do I care? So all of these, pulling up on me, jumping out of the truck without reading the sign and confronting me about, I'm the health inspector, you should have came to me before you even brought the boat down. Why? If it's a private club and a private thing and we're still figuring shit out, then why do I need to come to you 3 to 4 weeks before I'm even decided what I'm going to do? Why would I go get a food license to sell food at a food truck if I'm not going to be selling food on the food truck? What if I'm not selling meat, or if I'm selling dried goods that are already they're already packaged in dry goods, and that's what I'm selling on my boat for food. It's not cooked food, right? So I could do a lot of different things, and I'm still not even sure yet, right? I'm still fucking around all these weeks later. But can you imagine if I would have been serious about this and I would have started selling Columpkies or my potato boats right away, went down, got a license, came back, set up my boat and said, yeah, we're in business. This is going to be nice, clean, good food, all that shit. We're going to make some fucking money here. Forget it. Forget it. They were trashing the fucking boat on Facebook without any fucking food on the boat. What do you think they would have done if there was actually cooking going on? Are you kidding me? So a whole town of people gets behind this shit, this disgusting display. Come on, man. Then, so I started getting partner offers, right? So I had one guy, Tom, seemed like he was my age. He was my age. I would have actually worked the boat myself too, because I was looking to do that. I wanted to have at least one shift or something like that, maybe help the kids get started and stuff like that. And then once they were rolling, they could do it on their own, right? But I was just going to be a silent partner, help out wherever I could. I don't need to get paid. Just having fun, right? So, so then, therefore, the kids could have kept their hourly rate. They could have kept and made their money without me trying to be greedy and fucking steal all their money, which wouldn't have been enough money anyway, as I'll explain later. So that would have sucked. That would have sucked. So I'm so fucking glad, that I am who I am, because that's one of the things that the health inspector kept saying several times. One example was, most of the time when people are doing something like this, giving away free food, keeping the boat open and just accepting tips, right, from anybody who could afford it and just running the boat that way. To me, it made a lot of sense, because there's no real money to be made, and then any little bit of shit you make, the government's going to be here stealing it from you, just like he was there trying to do that day. Yeah, we need $250 for this fucking license to say that you can sell food. But even though the water in the town on the morning that he was coming over was fucking disgusting, dark brown shit, and it had been that way for already 5-6 fucking days, at least several days off and on. And then on that morning, he's here to raid a innocent, empty potato boat rather than deal with the problem at hand, right? And then here we are a couple weeks later, 3 weeks later now, and then all over the fucking news everywhere is about a parasite that they're blaming on lettuce and tomatoes and fruits and vegetables and all this shit, but nobody will look at the obvious cause of where these parasites are coming from. These parasites cannot even be killed with bleach or chlorine, right? So we know that if they're in the water, and our fucking tap water, then there's no way we're gonna get rid of them with all the bleach and shit that you want to put in the tap water. Ain't gonna get rid of it. So therefore, all the coffees and the shit that was being served on that morning that he came down to bust my balls at the orders of his minion, these lunatic Karens and fucking Darrens that went out of their way to post stupid shit on the Ware Facebook page about an empty potato boat. Their rage got him down here because they were so upset. I said, upset about what, John? What were they upset about? I didn't call him by name, but I said, what were they upset? They didn't like my cooking? Because I knew I thought he was full of shit about the complaints when he was telling me, because I was like, no. I said, hundreds of people have been coming around this boat every fucking day. They drive around doing videos, pictures. They love it. Hundreds of people have shown that per day since I've been watching the boat. So no, I didn't believe him when he told me that he was getting complaints at the town hall over the weekend, and when he came in Monday morning, this was top priority for him. I did not believe him. Now I do, because I see the minion now. I see what they're doing. But still, why didn't he say to them? Why didn't you say, John, why didn't you say it in your minion when they call and say, are you fucking Lulu? Are you fucking people insane? You just showed me a sign that says he's not even open for 3 weeks. You want me to go, swat his boat over this? In my $250,000 fucking vehicle that gets about 8 miles to the gallon, and I'm going to pull up on him and point out this to him and show him that a health inspector has no need for that size truck that eats up that amount of gas in this economy, in this fucking state, in the way the world is. This is ridiculous. This is thrown in our face that we are just slaves. We're the fucking slaves, and we're supposed to bow down to them, and their minion will back them up. These are the same minion. I hear them all the time on the scanner. They're reporting people because, oh, he's a reckless driver. Then it turns out you hear the other guys after he gets pulled over, after they take his ID, illegally take his ID because it's being done on hearsay. Same thing with the AI cameras and the flock cameras and the AI system. Reporting innocent people, fucking 10, 15 a week, easy. The wrong person, wrong car, wrong plate number, wrong every fucking thing. But yet they get pulled over, interrogated, and possibly even ticketed for something they did not even do. Possibly arrested for things they did not even do. Fucking ridiculous, man. This is so third world country fucking on steroids, all being watched to make sure you can't be nothing more than a third world country. Okay, so I rambled off. I'm going to go back to the story. So John shows up there Monday morning, and then he's fucking upset about me not having a license and all this shit. And I said to him, I don't even know what it is I'm going to do yet. Now, that's the whole point of this story today. What if that would have been the case? Now, they ran a cupcake girl out of this parking lot about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe a little longer. She tried it for about a year or something like that, off and on for a couple of years or whatever, and they just would not let her be. I mean, it was cupcakes. What could she fuck up? Who was she going to poison? And they were expensive too, but they were good. They were good. They were homemade, just like anybody can make. I think a lot of the stuff was boxed, but she might have made her creams and stuff by hand. And you gotta, she made artwork out of it and shit like that. So, you know, um, people are still driving up to the boat. That was another dude. Since I've been here with the camera, if you would look at the camera, there was probably 7 or 8 people so far in the time I've been talking that are driving around the boat with a big smile on their face. They're not there spitting on the boat. They're not stealing shit from the boat. Looks like the other fishing pole. No, it's still there. And the chairs are still there too. I was wondering about the chairs. All right, on with the story. So that was Monday morning. All kinds of other shit happened during that too, and I'll talk about it later if I think of it. I just don't want to make this too long of a story because it's just a boring video watching the boat. So one of the other things that was going on that Monday morning was that local nursing home, won't say the name, had a bad infestation of infestation. Let's just say that. I don't want to say much more than that. They admitted it because it was on some local news or some shit. They didn't say how bad it was, but they made it even worse. And I'm not going to tell you how they made it even worse, but they did. And the way they made it worse is something that's right up the health inspector's fucking alley. So on that Monday morning when he was on the boat, knowing that at least 3,000 of his residents were being poisoned by the water in their coffee, their breakfast, at least a few thousand, right? And then on top of that, he had that going on where another couple thousand, at least over the next couple weeks, would also be infested by the same dangerous thing that was there, right? So you got parasites and bugs and bad things happening all over, and the corporations getting away with fucking murder. A potato boat. A potato boat is where everyone's going to spend their time. That's where everybody. And as a matter of fact, the person who brought the potato boat came with such open arms, so nice to everybody, had no reason to be, and still found it in himself to be nice and go around from each car, introduce himself, tell his intentions, offer them a partnership in his fucking stupid potato boat. Because I was offering them partnerships to the other girl's daughter, right? I see her down working the hot dog stand once in a while. Here you go. It would have been something that I don't even care about. She could have took over the whole fucking thing. I just would have helped her get it started. And then if she was doing it more than I was, which definitely would have been the case, because it's not my lifelong dream or anything, I just had fun building the boat, and I thought it'd be fun to do with the kids. Oh, so back to that, the scaring people away, because that's the same way that they obviously scared Jim away. I don't know, did they intimidate Jim away? Did they beat him to death? I don't fucking know what happened to Jim. I'm still trying to find out. He's been known to disappear, right? He does some shit and he does his drugs or whatever, and then he disappears for a few days. All people that do drugs do that. So it's possible that that's it, but not usually 7 days. He's been gone 7 days or more. So that's very unusual. The notes were still on the boat. I don't think he's been down here. So whatever happened to him, who knows? I'll give it a little more time. Probably give it another week just because I know that it's bothering all them. Like, I'm hearing the shit about the Facebook posts and stuff like that. I'm hearing about it. So obviously they're going to... Yeah. So the kids. Okay, so I had a 24-year-old. I can say their names because I'm not saying their last names anyway, but I had a 24-year-old Isaiah. So Isaiah was interested. I don't know if he also got intimidated, or maybe sometimes is, at that age and stuff, if your friends are ranking you out, so you're going to work on a food truck or whatever. To me, if someone would have offered me something like this at 25, 30 years old, I would have been excited because I don't have to work for the man. I can make my own hours. I can fucking do what I want. As long as everything's done properly, and I get my food together, I get the cart together, and I got this guy who's willing to front the entire startup, the boat, the materials, the supplies needed to do the entire startup is going to be funded to you, right? So I figured these 24-year-olds would have jumped at this. They've been out of work since forever. And the jobs they do get are these shit store jobs that are minimum wage, or, again, nowadays, 20, 25 an hour ain't shit. So if you can make your own money and you have control of it, maybe they could if they were, because see, the thing is, you don't have to leave it here at this parking lot. This parking lot is the reason why you can only get $10 to $14 per plate. I kept saying per hour in one of the other videos. I listened to it. It was driving me crazy. So you can only make 10 to 14 per plate reasonably, right? And you can maybe creep that up a little bit. If they wanted to, they could try to get that up to $16 to $18 per plate, where they would make a little more per hour. There was some fine tuning that we done, but there's another car looking at the boat, right? So she's smiling. She's happy to see the boat. It made her smile and laugh. She's thinking to herself, boy, if there was a picnic table there, I'd bring the kids there to have a snack, right? So there could have been some numbers played with in order to make the whole thing work on that end of it. I'm just not interested in chasing money like that. Again, the corporations have complete control over everything that these food trucks do, because you're buying the food from these fucking local places. Even if you're ordering supplies online and stuff like that, you can try to save a few bucks. Yeah. But still, all of it's taxed, all of it's retaxed and retaxed over again from every fucking thing that we do. Very unfair, but everybody goes along with this. So you're not able to even make a living. It's fucking ridiculous, man. These other two food trucks only made money because they took their food trucks on the road. You have to go to places where people can afford to waste, like tourist areas, right? You got to go take it to tourist attractions. That also costs money. So if I wanted to bring this boat out to Block Island and set it up on the fucking beach during one of the 4th of July weekend or whatever, fine. You're going to make really good money, yes. But the government's going to take half of it. You're going to use a lot of it on paying big money for gas to get it trailered back and forth. You're going to have to take the ferry to get it over there on the ferry. Then you might be able to walk it into place. You're going to have to rent the spot that you're going to drop it on and make all this great money. So by the time you get done, the $10,000, $15,000 that you're going to make for the weekend ends up being $3,000, right? It happens no matter what you do. I know people that done RC cars, go-karts, all kinds of different shit over the years, and it always, they may say it's great, and they say it's great. I mean, it's great socially, yeah, it's great socially, but on the other hand, it's not so great socially, because you get to see how big old fucking weirdos everybody is. Just like I'm explaining to the camera now, there are a lot of fucking weirdos around, and we're fucking surrounded by them. Okay, so Isaiah got scared away for whatever reason. Then we had Nathan. Nathan was one of the first partners. He was actually he was the third one I thought of when I thought, hey, if he's out of work, he seems like he's always looking for work, right? He's always interested in finding work, and he seems like entrepreneur type. Same age, 22, 23, something like that, as Isaiah. So I figured I'd team the both of them up when I met Isaiah. But it turned out that he was not really, obviously, that interested either, or he was also intimidated because he knows all these people in town. So if they tell him, stay away from the boat, or else, just like they told me, that's what they told me, right? and then you don't even know what the or else is unless you live around here and you know them all, and you know the kind of government harassment and terrorism that they will fucking inflict on you, then yeah, then you're gonna stay away. So that's most likely what happened, right? And they all agree with each other. The nursing industry, the medical industry, the big government, they all agree that we should be all slaves like this. So it's easy to find minion that will just go along with this and work for you on your behalf, no charge. These blue hairs are not fucking doing anything all day. This is all they got to do. So they're gonna surveil the boat, watch the boat, write about it on Facebook, all this negative shit about the boat before the boat is even open, right? So those guys got scared away. My son was intimidated by it. I could tell because of the way him and his, he had a friend that was also going to join him. So that was the younger kids, right? They were only 17, 18 age group. And I was going to have them do either breakfast, keep them out of the hot sun, and have them do breakfast and have the other guys do dinners. And then lunch, we were going to leave up in the air until we found someone that really enjoyed being out on hot black pavement for fucking 5-6 hours. So then they started drifting, right? So kind of right away, they started drifting, I could tell. But that's because of the negative opinion that their mother and their relatives and other people in their life were going to give them over the stigma of running a food truck, right? Because there's a stigma that goes with it. Even if it's really, really good and it's top-notch food, there's still a stigma attached to it. So they were worried about that. I could tell was going on. Psychologically, I'm a psychological fucking mastermind, man. I'm watching everybody's, watching their emotions, reading their eyes, reading their energy, seeing what the hell's going on. So next thing, what they decided to do, they didn't want to hurt my feelings, right? So what they did was they started... they started choosing menus that were so fucking expensive that they would not make any money on. And I told them to watch out for that right from the beginning, and they were insisting that they were, but I could see they weren't. Some of the ingredients had to be ordered. Some of the ingredients, they had to wait for mom or somebody else to drive them to go get these special Asian ingredients to make this Asian Filipino dish, and several Filipino dishes for that matter. They were good. You know, we did trial runs on everything, stuff like that. But again, after he was done, and he was very delayed. It took him like 2 weeks to put it together. Everybody blew him off. The kid I was talking about, Nathan, blew him off. Isaiah didn't show up. I texted him several times. None of them showed up for the potato boat run because we did a potato boat trial run at the house. I mentioned in other videos to see what the cost was going to be and all that kind of shit. So then, so I had a talk with them after the thing. With my son because the other kid didn't show up either. So no, you know, everyone's busy. One's grounded. One's got meetings all day for one thing. And every time we called them, and it was many times. You know, 7, 8 different times. We gave everybody the opportunity. Hey, we're going to do a trial run. You want to come check it out? This way we'll know cost and everything like that before we even start. We'll get and some of the menus I didn't like. Like I didn't like the way the chili came out. It was too sweet. So we would have had to work on that, change it. Everything else was good about the chili, but and the potato part of it, and if we did fries, I bought some special equipment so make it easier on everybody to make everything and shit like that. So that was, to me, I said to my son, that's your way of bailing. You just don't want to be a jerk about it. You're trying to be nice to me. I understand. I appreciate that, but I don't have time to fuck around. I'll just keep moving on and we'll look around. I said, there was always Jim, because Jim was very interested in running the the open boat is what we call it, right? The lifeboat. He was very interested in that. Nobody else really was that interested in doing that. It sounded good in theory, but they didn't like being out there all day for free. So, I tried assuring everybody, but I could not promise them that I think that people would show up and put $5-10 a piece in your tip jar. And then some people would put even more in, and it would make up for the people that don't put nothing in. And they said, yeah, that's great in theory, but they didn't have much confidence. So, okay, I can't force anybody. It's just, we could try it, So Jim was the only one that wanted to do that. So I said, fuck it, I'm just going to go with Jim. Then everybody started getting on me about Jim because he's homeless, right? So I said, no problem. We'll clean him up. I'll help him out. So I set Jim up with a place to take a shower. He set himself up with a place to get a haircut and shave. I told him I would get him a couple of uniforms, a couple of chef outfits. We can just keep bringing them to the laundry. I can only afford to get 2 or 3 to start with, and then we'll get more later. So you just have to keep washing your clothes every other day. He loved the idea. He was all for it for the first 4 or 5 days that we were discussing it. I told him I'd set him up with a place, safe place, big enough to take care of himself instead of living in the cemetery. And then we could get him into a room. He had a guy that would rent him a room for $800 a month. I said, all right, let's do it. You'll have that within 2-3 weeks. You'll have that money to do that. Now, at that point, he only needed a money man. He cannot trust himself with the money. So when I went to give him the $250 to go down and get the license, he openly said, can you bring it down for me? I don't trust myself. I can't take the money and you expect me to walk. And I'm like, no, you have to be trusted because you're going to have to start trusting yourself. You have to start doing this. And he refused to take it. And I'm like, Jim, it's just right down the street, so you don't have to worry about it. It's right there. You ain't gonna go nowhere. I'm gonna be here. You walk down there, give the money to John now, and if John's not in the office, give it to somebody else, and they'll give it to John. And then after that, you only have to go back to the town hall and get the paperwork. And they're gonna make you go on the internet and do their stupid fucking test, which is so fucking stupid, it's ridiculous. They're worried about fucking food trucks serving parasites in the food. Are you fucking kidding me? Half the fucking town, every corporation here is serving this water. Fucking unbelievable. But anyways, so Jim didn't want to do that day, and that's fine. He wasn't really ready. He started getting nervous, shaking, jonesing probably too, right, and all that. And so I gave him some other work to do in the meantime to keep him busy. And I made the mistake, maybe a mistake, I don't know. But I paid him. And when I came back, only half the job was done. Then I came back again. He asked me for more money. I said, what did you do with the $20 I gave you yesterday? And he said, I had to eat. And I said, no, because I gave you 3 of the potato meals. So no, you didn't need to eat. I gave you lunch and supper with the potato boat. So you should have been fine. No, I had to eat at 10, 11 o'clock. So I went to McDonald's. $25 for a fucking hamburger? Are you kidding me? And that's what you think that it was a good idea to spend the money? I didn't believe him because he was tweaking. He was fucking shaking and everything, jumping around, anxiety, thing. So, but I'm not going to judge. I'm not. That's not what this is about. And I explained to him, don't worry about it. You just don't show up to the boat. If you're tweaking or if you're fucked up or if you feel like you can't make it, you have every right. Just don't show up. Don't come in. You're the boss. You're the owner. You have to get used to that. And if anybody questions it, you say, fuck you. It's my fucking boat. I'm going to run it how I want to. I'm not even charging for meals. It's fucking free meals. So when I'm here, I'm here. And if I'm not, got to deal with it. Because you shouldn't have to have the high anxiety. There's a lot of people out there that are working alcoholics and working drug addicts, and a lot of them are on legal drugs. They're on drugs from the fucking doctor, and that makes it okay because they're on drugs from the doctor. So it's okay. You get a pass. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous, man. So, Jim was ready to go. We were ready to clean him up. Yeah, he had the money ready to go to get the license. He was willing and able. And then something else happened on that last day. And I did give him money again because he was telling me that he was broke. So I said, all right. I said, so do all this stuff that you didn't do, that you didn't finish last time. And here's another bunch of other shit to also get done. And if you get it all done, I'll even give you more money, right? So I gave him incentive to come back for another 20, 30 bucks or something when he was done. And he was already overpaid by $40, $50 by the time I gave him that. Because he just, I don't know what the fuck was going on. I was just figuring he was, going to be gone for a few days. That happens. So then the next thing that happened with Jim was the disappearing act. So I got wind that Saturday morning, that was last Saturday morning, some people were texting me and telling me to go look on Facebook. I said, I'm not going on fucking Facebook. And they said, all right, well, this is what they're saying. So they started sending me messages about what was being said about the boat on, and I said back to them, well, what are all the good comments? I said, because last week I was being told that all the Facebook shit was all positive, good stuff. There was no negative shit at that time. The only negative stuff was being on the Ware homepage, not on the hot dog cart or the fried dough cart or the Spanish cart up the street or any of the Mexican cart. So it wasn't on any of those. It was all about the potato boat. The only fucking food truck that had no food on it was being ranked out on Facebook. Doesn't that tell you something? Didn't the zombie slaves think that was a little suspicious? Why did John from the health department not think that was a little suspicious, right? Why didn't he call the Karens back and say, are you fucking people trying to get me in shit? Are you trying to get me in trouble? Now the guy's wondering what the fuck is wrong with me. He's not even open yet. He's weeks away from opening. This was way premature. Why don't you guys leave him the fuck alone? This is what you should have said, John. This is what you should have said. You should have said, leave him the fuck alone. Just like that. Use swear words and everything. What's the big deal? They're not children. They can handle it. They'll complain. They'll put a complaint in with your department, I'm sure. All right, so that last day with Jim, I had a long talk with him. I told him, I don't know how we're going to do this. We're going to figure out a few things, because some other things had happened too that I'm not even going to talk about right now in this video. But some other things came up, okay? So when those other things came up, I told him, we got to figure out a way to do this then. We have to figure out a new way. Give me a couple days and I will figure it out. That was on Thursday. That was the Thursday before, right? So yeah, so it's been 7-8 days or something like that. Was the last time I seen him. So that was Thursday before last Saturday. Not yesterday, Thursday, but the Thursday before. So when I talked to him, gave him money. He was upset. I gave him some clothes. I had some new clothes that I never wore still in the wrappers and stuff like that, and some other stuff. I thought, let's get him going on being able to clean up and shit like that. Showed him where he could take a shower, clean up, that kind of stuff. Gave him another place to stay rather than the cemetery. I set that up for him and gave it to him and was ready to go. But then after the conversation, he was a little bit down about it because he felt like he was being treated unfairly and shit like that. I don't know if they were really serious at the town hall about helping him, but they claimed that they were going to help him. So if he would have had one of the town accountants helping him handle his money, he could have made it. He could have made this work. Because if you got the town accountant coming down, taking out all the money you need for tomorrow's meals out of your tips, giving you enough to go home, make smart decision, either go home and get fucked up or go home and stay sober and stay clean, right? So you got to make that decision based on the $20, $30 a day that he's going to give you, right? So it was a great idea. That would have kept Jim doing good. And then he would have made sure that he was paying his taxes, so he would have been contributing to society, which is something very, very important. That's why they want the $250 license fee. That's why they want, there goes my buddy. And that's why they're, you know, they want you to pay taxes on it all. It's the same way that the taxes are being paid already on the property of the owner when that we're paying rent on and all that kind of shit, right? So they just want to make sure that you're going to be a good slave. Fine, Jim was willing to do that. As a matter of fact, he was eager to be a good slave. And so he was going to work with the health inspector. He was going to work with the town and try to do the right thing. But then the fucking minion kept fucking playing games, ranking the boat out, intimidation shit. Is that what happened to him after he left me that day? Did he go around and was he being intimidated by other people to say, stay away from this? Or something bad's gonna happen to you? Or was he enticed? Because it'd be real easy when someone's got a problem to take advantage of their problem and go giving them a bunch of money, right? For example, right? I'm not saying this did happen. I'm saying in the back of my mind, it's a possibility. And we'll find out. We're going to find out over the next couple of weeks. We'll start hearing about it. Was Jim the one that I heard on the scanner the other night that overdosed? Could have been. Could have been. I mean, it's not out of the question. All it would take is somebody handing him a $100 bill and he's going to go fuck it up, right? And everybody knows that. That's taking advantage of somebody. That's being a fucking scumbag. So let's hope they weren't that fucking evil. Or I think that's the most likely one. I think that's the most likely case, is something like that happened to him. Because he was too looking forward to it. He was too excited about it. So then on Saturday morning when I got wind of that girl, that was only 2 days after I talked to Jim. So that's why I said, all right, this is how we're going to do this. We're going to do it as a private club. This way we don't have any restrictions of dealing with the public because it's going to be a private club. We're going to put on the sign about having to be living under the poverty level of $66,000 a year. That should, you know, that's a cut on the administration. That's a cut on the town hall, who still pretends that, you know, someone making $30,000 or $25,000 a year, that's the real poverty level. No, it's not. The real poverty level is more like $150,000 a year, and we all fucking know it. And it's about to even change again because we just went back into the war again, and they're going to make it all worse, and the diseases are everywhere, and the food is all up, and you got alpha-gal being brought in by the fucking ticks, and now you've got this other one, parasite brought in by the water, is where it's going to end up coming from. Guarantee you it's going to end up being the water. So the water that we spray the crops with, that's why it's not just lettuce, it's on a lot of different shit. And that's why swimming pools are being worn. At the beginning of the summer, we always have to worry about lakes and ponds and shit like that, still waters. But come on, man, a fucking swimming pool with constant circulation with chlorine and pH up and all the fucking algae fighting shit in there, and they can't kill the parasites that are fucking now getting everybody with this massive explosive diarrhea while you're shopping, while you're out somewhere. It's just all of a sudden, boom, done, in your fucking pants, all over the place. Maybe that dude that overdosed wasn't even an overdose. Maybe he got a fucking parasite in him. The one that I heard on the scanner. I don't know for sure. It sounded like an overdose. On Pulaski Street, overdose, at least fucking 10 a year. Just like Otis Ave and other fucking things. But that's not a health crisis. No, that's not something for the health inspector to worry about. You know, dirty water, fucking toxic water, parasitic water. No. Don't worry about that. Drug epidemic. Don't worry about it. And you know what's funny is I know about another pandemic, epidemic level thing that's been going on for years. The medical industry hides it. We all know it's all happening. It's the Metellus. I talk about it in many, many videos. The Metellus. So many strains of them fucking eating us away everywhere. All the conspiracy shit of changing the plumbing, taking the lead out of our house to kill the dust Metellus. Changing the pipes from iron and lead that worked as an electromagnetic field that used to have reverse magnetism, so to kill the Metellus, the shit Metellus that was going out in the toilets, the tubs, and everything else before it even went back into the system. The Metellus was disintegrated by electromagnetism. Now we change it all to PVC, to concrete, to other things that don't kill the Metellus when the water goes back, right? Then the water coming into the house and into the business used to be in copper pipes with lead corners and lead fittings and all that kind of shit. Again, electromagnetic ability when the plumbing system is grounded, so the whole entire fucking house, right? Then you had wires everywhere inside the walls working with the asbestos and the metal flakes that were on the outside of the house, working with the lead paint and the lead walls that were coating the plaster on the inside of the house, totally acting as a big magnet. And then that big fucking magnet is killing all the Metellus. So every time you walk through a doorway, you would be killing these Metellus. Every time you went in your basement, up and down the stairs, you would be killing these Metellus from your body, from the atmosphere, from the air. Not anymore. Now it's all illegal. Asbestos is illegal. Lead is illegal. You're right. The plumbing's all being fucking changed out. They totally fucked us. And then they gaslight you and tell you, oh, that's crazy conspiracy shit. That disease you got, that's called eczema. Or that disease you got, that's called diabetes. Or that disease you got, that's called... right, there's so many different fucking Metellus out there. I mean, tens of thousands nanometellus, and then tens of thousands of micrometellus that are on a microscopic scale. The nanometellus are the ones that are the biggest, hardest thing to show people, because you have to show them in a way that they... You have to show them in a way that they have to see it for themselves. They can't, just like when I'm showing you the true creators' work, the false creators' work, when I'm showing that to anybody, you have to see it for yourself. That's always been my biggest bitch. You cannot take my word for something. Yes, I can give you descriptions so that it's not to plant shit in your head. It's to call me out. You have to show me, say, okay, you say it's feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast, faces only. Well, here's an image of a body of a lion or an elephant or whatever. And that's how we have this conversation. But because I know I can show you otherwise if you do that. And it's happened. Every once in a while I get somebody that'll try doing that with me. And so a couple times I've even been proven wrong. I wasn't even be able to, they ended up being correct. And my only excuse and reason for that was, it's not my video. How do I know that video really is what they say it came from? When I'm doing videos of the clouds, I'm not up to nothing suspicious, but only I know that. I'm not making, I put a red filter on the camera, right? So anybody watching the video is going to think that there's something suspicious, because normally cameras don't have filters on them. I try to explain, okay, well, we've lost contrast in our eyes, and I'm just trying to help different people see different colors better, see things, shadows, images better in different colors. But it doesn't work. They already run so far away from it because they got to go to, they got to go to their jobs, they got to go to school, they got to live life. At least that's what we've been telling ourselves for the last couple hundred years, but I don't know. When the fuck does everybody wake up? I don't fucking know. So back onto the boat story. So Jim is missing. It's been more than 7 days. So was he kidnapped? Was he hurt and damaged in some way? Was he threatened? Did it only take a threat? Or was he enticed? Was he enticed with something else, right? Something else I'll say about what's going on down here is the other carts are both gone. the fried dough cart and the hot dog cart were both the biggest offenders. Their minion and themselves were the biggest offenders of the harassment of this potato boat, now called the lifeboat, soon to be called something else probably. So I'm always thinking, what am I going to do if they did get rid of Jim on me, right? How am I going to have fun with this if they keep, I don't want anybody else to get any pleasure out of making me miserable. So I want to stay happy and not be miserable throughout the process of dealing with these people, So my next way of doing that is, if I can't find Jim by the end of the weekend, by Monday, let's say, then I think my next thing, I'm going to find another homeless guy named Jim. I'm going to go get him because I know where 2 Jims are in Holyoke, and I'll go pick them up, tell them about the boat. I'll show them the boat. I'll show them the same exact setup that I got for this Jim that lives here in this town who's homeless. And I'll just set it up with another Jim who's homeless and let him run the fucking boat the same way. Nothing will change. I'll send him down to the town hall to get the license if that's what they want to do. Don't really need a license at this point because it's a private club now. Here's another truck looking. So just since I've been running the camera, you guys see what I'm saying. This is, 15, 20 people. They're not reading the sign. So really, they're just liking the boat. They're just looking at it and saying, oh, shit, he made a fucking food truck out of an old boat. That's pretty cool. He's not spitting on the boat that I could tell. He's not taking videos of the boat while yelling and screaming at the camera like the crazy Karens were doing. I guess I'll mention too about the crazy Karens, the Facebook mafia, the Facebook terrorists. They that day that I came down here and I put the videos up on my other channel. What channel did I put that up on? All on one channel. There's about 10 of them. All 10 videos that are all on one channel, and then 2 that were more that I wanted to hide even more, so I buried those in another channel. So what those videos are for is so that later on, if anybody denies any of this shit that I'm saying and they try saying that I'm crazy or that I'm making shit up or stuff like that, that's why I had those other cameras going. And I didn't have to have them going all night, but I did have to. They were running 16 hours a day running at the boat so I could watch and see who was involved and who was doing what. And there were surprisingly some new faces in there that I am not used to seeing. So I thought that was funny. So, they're in there. So they're on there. That Karen from that day was one of those people. I had never seen that woman before. So whoever she's related to or what town office she works for or whatever, that could be found out at a later date. It's not a big deal of who she is. What was a big deal was that here she was spending her late night and early morning on Facebook, ranking out this empty potato boat, looking like a fool to me. I mean, if as far as I'm concerned, anybody looking would have said, "Are you insane? Do you need help? Should we send help for you? Or what are you talking about? Is your husband home? Because you're acting a little bit, radical here. I mean, it's an empty fucking potato boat. The sign says 3 weeks away before he opened. What are you doing? You look stupid. You're not helping the other food trucks if that's what you're trying to do, right? Nobody has common sense. Nobody says this to this dumb bitch. So she comes down here after a weekend. Hey, what's up, man? After a weekend of bitching about it, she comes down, and then next, I think that's Miero, that works at the Mexican cart. So then she comes down on that Saturday morning. I had got wind that Saturday morning that she had been posting over the weekend So it must have just been Friday night. So Friday night she started. It could have been Sunday morning, actually. I don't remember. Anyways, that morning, I got wind of her posting more shit on Facebook, and I'm saying, I thought they had left it alone. I thought we were all set. But my sign was down. I took my sign down because I had intentions of changing the sign. I had to change it to Jim's going to be the owner now, and Jim's going to, what Jim's plan was and what his menu is going to be and that kind of thing. It was a different business plan from the original. So I had only at that point had the sign painted white, and I had not marked anything. But boy, did it put a fucking fire under me to get going and go bring the sign down. So Saturday morning, maybe 11 o'clock, 11:30, whatever it was, and I came down to put the sign on. I saw that bitch yelling on her phone, parked diagonally, not in the parking space, right in the middle of the parking lot. So no one could even get by her unless you were going to drive in parking spaces or whatever, right? So I'm just painting the picture that was pretty ridiculous. So what I did was I went around her a couple times when I noticed this with the camera on the dashboard. She did not know who I was. I was not in my usual car. So I drove around her a couple times so I could make sure I got her face real good and everything like that. And just to see the anger on her face, yelling at the camera, pointed at the fucking potato boat, I'm thinking, this is insane. These people are fucking insane. So I go around the back of the building, I park my car, I take the sign out, I aim the camera at the boat from a far distance, zoom in, just like I'm doing right now, and I walk up to the fucking boat, put the sign in the boat. She's feet away from me, 3-4 feet away, doing her stupid video, ranking on the boat. I know what she's saying because everybody that morning told me already what she's saying on Facebook about the boats. But I can hear her blah, 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 blah. But I couldn't make out exact words, right? But I can hear her yelling at her phone. And she stopped. As I was walking up, she stopped yelling at her phone, but she kept the camera pointed at me, right? So I got a big smile on my fucking face because I'm loving this, because I know as soon as she sees this sign, if she's already this angry before this fucking sign goes up, I can't wait to see this, right? So I put the sign in the fucking slot. She pulls forward, right on my back to read the sign. She was fucking pissed. So I walked to the front, I walked to the back while I let her read the sign. Now, I cannot see her face at that point because the sign is in my way. The sign is a sail, and the sail is in my way while I'm raising the umbrella. But as soon as I raise the umbrella, I go to walk away from the boat, and I look back to look at her, and the fucking rage on her face. So I'm there. Why didn't she say something to me? Why is she talking on Facebook about? Why didn't she pull up and say, oh, excuse me, I'm doing a Facebook post. Can you tell me a little bit about what the fuck it is you're doing on the boat? Because everybody's wondering, and we're very upset that you are not serving any food that we can come on here and ridicule and rank on and rank out your business before you even fucking start your own business. So come on, can you tell me, sir? Right? And I could have said, get the fuck out of here, Karen, you fucking dumb cunt. So she didn't do that, but she was pissed. So of course I'm smiling as I walk away because I know she's got the camera aimed at me. So when I did turn around to look at her, see her yelling, I give a big smile because now she's reading the fucking new thing, the new sign, and her blood must have boiled for a lot of different reasons. Here they are, because she's probably a town board member or some shit. Who the hell knows? She's probably, or she works for one of the town offices, some shit. I don't know. Or a relative does. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? They're all related. So anyways. She was so fucking pissed off. So I went and got my camera. I walked around the other side. That camera actually died, so I turned on this camera that I'm on now. And I came over here to the woods, almost right where I am right now, but a little further over so that they could see me. Right where I am right now, it takes a lot to see me. You gotta be paying attention, and not too many people are. But where I was that day, I was intentionally standing in the shade where I could be seen. when I had the camera. Oh, actually, that video I did put up on this channel. So yeah. So if you go to that video, that one's up on this channel, and that shows that same girl that I'm talking about still didn't leave. After I put the new sign up, she pulled up for another half hour, 40 minutes, and stayed over in another parking space. Again, yelling on the phone the whole fucking time, bitching on Facebook. You see her texting away. You know, she's fucking tapping away at the phone in a rage. Over what? Over what? Fucking people are insane, man. And then if the excuse is they were worried about me taking business from the hot dog stand or the fried dough stand and I was going to be stealing their business, come on, man. That ain't fucking not going to happen. It wasn't going to happen. I made it very clear that I wasn't going to do anything like that. Why would somebody go up and say that they're not going to do something like that and then go and do it? Why would you not just stay away from everybody? Don't ask them anything. Don't say anything to them. Say you're a bunch of fucking idiots and just do my own thing and stay away from them, right? I mean, come on. I went up and showed everybody, hey, I'm a nice guy. Same thing with cleaning the parking lot. I didn't ask to be paid for it. I didn't ask. I waited. As a matter of fact, let's talk about that one for a minute. When I was sweeping up that fucking parking lot, I went to both the fried dough truck and the fucking hot dog car, made sure that I was doing it on days and times that they were not running, because the dust was blowing up everywhere and it doesn't look good. So so when I'm sweeping the whole parking lot, and it took, I don't know, 5-6 hours or something sweeping, then I had to pay Jim another 5-6 hours to do the wrong thing because he dumped the dirt in the wrong fucking place and I got to move it now. But the point is that I cleaned up the parking lot. There's no appreciation for anything. And if the dirt bags like sitting in a dirty fucking parking lot, they should have had their own people out there doing that over the last 7 years that they've been out there, because that's how long they've been there, 7 years, and no one's ever cleaned the fucking parking lot. It was pretty obvious. Well, yeah, we cleaned it up all the time. You're full of shit. You're full of shit. You did not, never, what are you talking about? Picking up some fucking wrappers in the parking lot? That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about dirt and fucking cigarette butts and shit blowing up in your food into your tent on windy days and blowing all over everything that you're eating. I mean, it's fucking stupid. Why not clean it up? And if some asshole comes along and decides to clean it for you, show some appreciation. Don't fucking badmouth him and trash his fucking boat and try to fucking come down on him with the law. Listen, people, any of you assholes, because I know they're coming to these videos now, okay? How do I know that? Because their minion have backed way the fuck off. They have backed Jim way the fuck off, right? They've taken out everybody that could have, any potential partners have been intimidated. I won't go as far as saying threatened because I don't have any evidence of that, but intimidated for sure, right? So I can exaggerate it and call it threats, just like I did when they came over to the boat when I was there. And I could say that those were threats, you know, but it's total fucking intimidation for sure. They're on a legal scale, right? Giving unlawful orders and directives for no reason, for no lawful reason. That is bullshit. And that's what they were doing. So where did they do a Jim? Where did they fucking put him, right? Nathan, Isaiah, what happened to those guys? Was it an easier intimidation process? Because for most people, it would be. If the kids would have been down on the boat the day that I was, when the health inspector came out on me, swatted me, as I like to say, when they came down and swatted me that day with one guy, if that would have been the youngsters, the 18-year-olds and shit, I would have been fucking pissed. But right, I won't return and make disgusting threats, but just know I'm not a fucking idiot. I know the laws. I know that you have no fucking right trying to intimidate people like that. You just think that you have that fucking right because, I don't know, the town gives it to you. But that don't mean shit to me. So I would have been fucking pissed. I was already upset just on doing it to me. But then if it would have been the 24-year-olds, I still would have been upset. They probably would have been a little more prepared because they've been around this town long enough to know how everybody is. So I probably could have explained it to him and said, hey, look, if the health inspector shows up down here trying to give you guys a fucking hard time, call me. Say nothing to him. Just say, wait, we're going to wait and talk to our representative. And don't say nothing to him. Because really, we should have been down there cooking at that boat, testing out the equipment. There's another car looking at it now, a small little box car just pulled around to the left. And she's reading the sign. But yeah. Yeah, there she goes. No, that's not the one. It's a different one, I think. It's a different car. No, she's still there. She's still there reading the sign. There's a little tiny little car that's going to come around in a second. Little hatchback type thing. But she's over there reading the sign right now. Now, these people, I don't take it as bad people. I don't think so. I think these couple hundred people, 100 a day at least, that are circling the boat, smiles on their face, laughing, taking pictures, they're not meaning any harm. As a matter of fact, some of these people are from out of town and they're putting it on other Facebook pages, which is, ridiculous. For the hot dog truck, for as much as I bent over backwards to be nice to those people, I don't understand why they're playing it off like I'm their arch enemy like this. It's really stupid. They're playing it off like it's the end of the world that this fucking potato bowl came on. They're stomping their feet. They're throwing a fucking fit to all their friends on Facebook, which is enraging their minion. And then their minion are also doing a lot of shit that, like the spitting on the boat thing that they were doing, right? So you can see it on camera, clear as fucking day. Now, am I going to go to the cops and bitch about it? No, I just go and wash it off the fucking boat. Their loogies are probably cleaner than the town water. So really, if I'm going to think of it that way, their spit is cleaner than the town water. So here I am washing their spit off with town water that I'm saying to myself, I should just leave the fucking loogie on there, right? And then we're not even going to talk about shit that even my subscribers or anybody else coming to these videos has no idea of, won't even talk about it, won't even think about it, including the health inspector, including anyone from town, which is what all my channels are all about. Geoengineering, cloud seeding, chemtrails, right? So that's what I'm all fucking about. So when the weather is 105 fucking degrees for 15, 20 days in a row and all this crazy shit, and the nighttime temperature won't leave below 80 for so many days in a row, and people are dying, and it's all over the fucking world this is happening. Oh, gee, funny, it's all the same places that we talked about the chemtrails going on and talking about direct energy weaponry, starting forest fires and all kinds of other shit and everything, right? So you got all this shit going on that I was starting to ramble off on earlier that nobody will even pay attention to. That's not the big deal. The big deal is the empty fucking potato boat, right? It was no big deal that the town water was dark brown, even almost black. It was dark brown on its way to black. When you shake the bottle, big fucking flakes and chunks and shit. So once I seen the chunks, I said, oh, that's what was in my coffee this morning for the 4 coffees that I had before I realized how dirty the water is. Where did I get those coffees? Gee, right over here at the gas station, Dunkin' Donuts, fucking Cumberland Farms. Gee, how many other thousands of people had that same coffee I had? Gee, I wonder how I got the shits a week later, 2 weeks later, because that's what it fucking takes for the parasite to fucking make its way through to even start affecting you. That's why on the day that everybody was drinking those waters, there were already people that were sick from the week before. And I know a couple of them. I knew there's another truck looking at the boat, checking it out. seeing what's going on. So the thing is he's probably a fucking is he on a walkie-talkie? Yeah. Yeah, so he was doing a video too of it. So is he faux or nay or no? Who the fuck knows, right? You could kind of go by what they look like because they all look alike. You know what I mean? They really do. I'm serious. When you watch the videos, because I'll eventually I will release all the videos that are on the other channel on this channel. I'll put them all together at the end and do a story when I'm all done with all this nonsense. And I will put them on. And it is funny because they really all look alike, like my family does. But they're not supposed to be family. They're supposed to just be neighbors and friends and fucking co-workers that all work for the fucking government agencies and shit. They're supposed to be the government employees that work for the hospitals and nursing units and shit around here. The health programs, right? The health program, and then you got the rehabs, rehab centers and all that. Why is it coincidentally that all these Karens and Darrens all look like they're all related? What a coincidence. Something fucking weird going on around here. And the only reason I even thought of that again just now is because that dude in the truck looked like one of them. It's not just the hat. It's not just the fucking face. It's not just the look. It's the walk, the talk, the fucking everything, you know? It's everything. I think this is the girl that comes over here to piss. That comes over to piss and shit in the woods. We'll see. So one day I caught one of my buddies who was also homeless. I don't even know if I call him buddy anymore because he shit in my yard one time and I was so fucking pissed. I was letting him stay at the house and then when the snow thawed out, I found the shit dissolved. He was shitting there for probably a week or two. The toilet paper, paper towels, everything was still there. I was fucking pissed. But anyways, one day I was down here and I just happened to be here standing right where I am now. And a girl came out and she took a dump right there next to the dumpster. Right there. She just opened her car door and took a shit. And then meanwhile, her friend got out and squatted right over to right here, right about here, where that shadow is. And she was taking a leak there. I didn't see her take a shit, but she took a leak. She drip dried and then got back in the car with her friend. So I'm shaking my head. I'm saying, couldn't walk into the fucking woods. Couldn't go over to McDonald's. Couldn't do anything else. You got to go to the bowling alley and just shit on the fucking side of the guy's property. It's how disgusting. And so anyways, 3 days later, 2 or 3 days later, the same guy who shit in my yard, Tim, he was laying in that lawn right there. And he usually does. That is usually his laying spot. He lays in the shade and he watches the parking lot while he's washing his laundry. So I came over to him to tell him, I'm like, you're laying right where the girl pissed. So I don't know if that's a regular routine for her and her friend to come here and piss and shit, but I did just watch her take a 2-3 minute piss right there where you're laying. So of course he got up and moved and he was aggravated, but it was a pleasure to tell him after he didn't understand why I was so angry about him shitting in my yard. So that was probably about 15 cars that came in the half hour, an hour that I've been doing this video. That's been about 15 cars that circled the boat. Now that's with the boat being down here for 3 weeks. It means it's still drawing interest. People are still interested in it. People still like it. It's a good fucking thing, man. This could be a good gig. I'm gonna continue on. I'm gonna keep fucking around trying to find somebody to partner up with that really wants to do something with it. I do like the idea better of doing a community project out of it. That is my ultimate thing, but I don't mind doing both. We could run the lunch menu at a time when all the drug addicts and the homeless are all awake and get the zombie slaves down here while they're on their lunch break from their slave jobs, and everybody could all, you know, because they can't afford to eat either anymore. No one's eating healthy for sure. Not if they're eating from a fucking hot dog stand, they're not. So we can offer some good quality food, see if the tips get tipped out enough to do it again the following day. If we don't, then we come up with the money again when we can and do it again. And we just do it that way. And hopefully it'll work out where we can resupply the truck every day for 5-hour lunch and run a free open lunch boat. And then whoever wants to run breakfast and dinner, they can charge for breakfast and dinner and do it their way. They're just going to do it on a separate license. That's all. You know, they don't have to do it on private club license or anything like that. They can open it to the public for breakfast and lunch. You're just going to have to get a different license. They only give a fuck about the what do they call it? Extortion. They only care about the extortion money. That's all they care about, and that's what it is. It's extortion. It's not just like the penalties and the fines that go with not following their extortion fucking rules, right? So they have exact directions that you have to follow. That is the actual extortion, and then it only gets worse if you don't follow their direction, because penalties, fines, and civil fucking unrest happens, and you'll end up finding yourself in a courtroom that is rigged against you, and it's a big waste of fucking time. That's all part of it. That's all part of it. Waste your time, waste your life's energy on fucking arguing, and it's fucking ridiculous. And way outnumbered. We're way outnumbered. Here she's arguing with someone. I wonder who she's talking to. Oh, she's yelling at somebody in the parking lot that told her to shut the fuck up because she was yelling on the phone. And now the guy's getting out of the car. Now the guy's getting out of the car and going after her. I think it's a girl. I don't know. Yeah, that's what's happening. So he was on the phone. She was on the phone talking loud, and then walked by a car, and the guy says, shut the fuck up or something. Everybody's fucking on edge. Everybody's fucking nuts. Everyone's living in a fog. No one can afford to live anymore. Everyone's in denial of all those facts. Government is fucking killing us, running us into the ground, and everybody's still protecting them and saying, oh, God bless the government. God, you know, still going along with the left-right paradigm bullshit fucking story that they believe that there's a left and a right and you got to be on one side or the bullshit, man. All being fucking played. Dumbed down zombie slave motherfuckers, man. All of us. It's fucking sad. I don't know. My thing is that the electromagnetic current had changed. Certain amount of people had been waking up. Every year, more and more people you think are waking up, but they're not waking up to all of it. They're only waking up to some of it. Now, when it's at its end times, because that's what this is the end of the end times. The end times drag so slowly. When I say my awakening started in 2010, it probably started 30, 40 years earlier than that. It's just that it takes a long time to gain confidence when you're constantly subjected to all these other lies that are all around us that you're forced to believe in. We were forced to believe that dinosaurs existed. We were forced to believe that Pearl Harbor was what they said it was. We were forced to believe that 9/11 is what they said it was. We're forced to believe that going to school and putting our kids to college was a good idea. We're forced to believe that our hard work and energy was going to pay off and we would someday retire. And I mean, it was all fucking lies, obvious lies. Who the fuck wants to work their whole life's energy away and for a retirement 50 years old, 60 years old, 70 years old? None of those age groups are good for retiring. don't even think about. We shouldn't even be set up as retiring. We should have equal amount of time throughout our entire life from childhood on. Shouldn't be locked up in a fucking classroom for 7 hours a day and then go play volleyball for fucking another 2-3 hours, wasting your time, or baseball or football or cheerleader or fucking bullshit that they suck you kids into doing. That's all nonsense. And just to get you ready to go to your slave fucking job that you will toil at and not have any of the things that were promised to you, because those things are now also going away. And the boomers and the Gen X's, I think I'm X, they're just as dumbed down zombie slaves. But you know what? Don't feel sorry for us. Don't feel sorry for us. Not my generation nor my parents' generation, because they knew all along that everything coming out of their mouth was a fucking lie, and they went along with it. They knew that they were not really owning their homes. They even claim that to this very day in 2026. They claim that they own their homes when they know that's not true. They do not. If they get behind on their taxes, the house is not theirs. If the government wants to introduce some eminent domain fucking thing or something, it's not theirs. If the government wants to do like they're doing in some states already right now, and all states are going to be getting this, where they're going to implement new carbon regulations, that if your house is not up to these codes, and you're going to start getting penalized thousands, $20,000, $30,000 a year penalties for not updating your home. And these updates cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to do. Government will gladly loan you these hundreds of thousands of dollars to use their government contractors the same way they did for lead abatement and asbestos abatement and every other fucking thing. They're going to do the same shit with your homes. So home ownership will no longer exist, and they all know this. But they're claiming that, oh no, you should go get a home. You should go buy one of these $500,000 to $700,000 homes that when just I was buying a home back in the day, I paid $60,000 for the same fucking home on the same property on the same land. And at the time I did so, there were not millions of town ordinances, city ordinances, and federal regulations against everything. Chickens, roosters, growing gardens, catching rainwater, digging your own well water for digging your own well, or any other fucking stupid thing you want to think of, right? Because there's a law for everything, because that's what slavery is. And then you never owned your home in the first place. Your title does not say that you own it. It says it's a copy of a title. When your deed for your house says that it's the copy of the deed. You don't own anything. Your car title says, your lawnmower, your fucking every house appliance you have comes with a warranty and a deed. And these warranties and deeds fucking don't. That means that it's not yours. You're only the paper holder. Battery's dying. You're only holding the paper. That's what that means. We all know that, but we pretend that we don't. We pretend that we don't understand it. When it's said to us, we say it's conspiracy. Here you go, hold up your fucking title to your car and prove it to me. And look, I'm holding it. Yeah, you're the holder. Big fucking deal. And they can easily tear the rug out from under anybody who thinks they did own anything. You thought you owned your antique cars until they stopped the manufacturing of the parts that keep your old cars running. And then they implemented gasoline that would kill anything older than 2005. That goes for all your lawn equipment, your car engines, anything, motorcycles, anything running E15 is going to gunk up. You're all on a borrowed time right now, all of you that are driving 2005 and older. And that's only one rug that was pulled out from under you. It's just to get you into the newer vehicles, because the new non-driver vehicles will most likely, not most likely, they're definitely leading to driverless cars, right? It's going to be driverless government cars that are going to track your every fucking move, and you're going to be all for it because you're just fucking dumbed down zombie slaves with a Harvard education. Fucking unbelievable, man. Unfucking believable. All right, that's my ramble about the potato boat, the now called the lifeboat. That's what's going on with it. That's my update. I'll work on it during next week, over the weekend, and do another update. Meanwhile, I don't really have the cameras down here that much anymore because they stopped all their surveillance. Now that they know that I had cameras on the boat, I realized that I'm just wasting my time because they're not doing the shit that they were doing before. So we'll keep an eye on them. I'll be back.